Welcome to another great local business interview here. We're in Kansas City with Spencer and Jesse at Compadres Cigars. Spencer, good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, my friend.
Jesse, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
We're on there. Yep, good. So Spencer and I, it's an interesting history. I didn't really meet you until just like 3 or 4 years ago.
It's probably been 5 or 6 years.
5 or 6 years. But our common denominator is two things: Gary Seabaugh, Dr. Gary Seabaugh, and the Plaza Academy, where we both went to high school. A little different times.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you were probably, what year did you graduate?
I graduated in 02.
Yeah, I graduated in 87. A little older.
A little different.
Long live the 80s.
That's right, on the 80s. So, but Spencer and I had talked about doing some business, and he had a cheese shop in Brookside called Gio's Cheese. And so there's been a lot of good conversations over time, and I wanted to come in and talk about the smoke shop.
Yeah.
So tell us, how'd you get started?
Well, we're not really a smoke shop. So
Thank you. Clarify it for us.
So we are a cigar manufacturer and importer. So we make cigars in the Dominican Republic, who our mutual friend Jose also helped us get started down there. So we hand roll all cigars in the Dominican, and then we import to Kansas City, and we distribute throughout the U.S. From here. So it's all wholesale.
So all wholesale, no retail. You can't come in and buy a cigar.
No, sorry.
But if you call me, and again, how did you get started in that? So you were groceries, import.
We were doing cheese. Yeah. So we started back in 2009. Jose Suarez, who was my partner in the cigars, worked for me for Latin American countries that bought cheese from us. So we distributed cheese to Panama, Costa Rica. We had dealings with Cuba, the Dominican. And so by 2017, we got a pretty strong foothold in the Dominican. And we made a lot of friends and connections down there. And at the time, we were looking at produce, because we dealt with a lot of the produce companies around the U.S. And so we said, why don't we import produce and sell cheese to the Dominican and go back and forth? So Jose moved down there in 2019. And our goal was to bring back pineapples, mangoes, bananas, all sorts of stuff like that. And we started, and then COVID hit, and all the farms there just shut down. So at that time, we had the whole operation set up down there. Jose was living there, so we needed to find a way to make money. So our friends there said, why don't you get in the cigar business? Why don't you try to get your license to import, and we can set you up with everybody we know down here. So that's what we did.
Nice.
It took us a year and a half to get the license. So we started doing R&D during that time, weeded through all the farmers, manufacturers, box makers, ring manufacturers, everything that goes into making a cigar. So we now have about 9 different suppliers that we work with down there, all from the Dominican. And then we have a whole portfolio of products that Jesse can explain to you. And then we also do private label for people. So say Frankie wants his own cigar, we put your own blend, your own size, your own box,
band,
your own logo, band, everything on it, and import it for you.
I knew the word.
And sell it. Yeah, rings. We call them rings.
Rings?
Rings.
I thought it used to be called band. I smoked cigars years and years ago, but not today. I like to ask what makes you unique, because there's a lot of cigars. Right, if you go into a store like Diebel's, there's tons and tons and tons and tons of cigars.
So we're considered a boutique brand, what they call boutique brand. So you have the main Macanudos, Romeo and Julietas, Arturo Fuente, all the big guys, and those are mainstream cigars. Boutique guys are guys like us. We come up with our own brand. It's more of a niche and we import directly. So that's unique in itself. And then the private label is also unique. There's not a lot of guys doing private label for cigars. So,
on a high quality piece like yours.
And we do a whole portfolio. So we have economic cigars that sell for $5 or $6 retail. Excuse me. All the way up to cigars that are $30, $35 retail.
And those. Hence our Cardinal one.
That's our red boxes, a Cardinal one. And those, actually, the guy that rolls that for us, he was with Arturo Fuente and used to roll the Opus X. Which
Sure.
is one of their top end cigars.
I remember that cigar.
$80
That's right.
cigar sometimes. So this is comparable to that retails for £30.
Okay, very good. Good to know.
Tobacco aged filler tobacco's aged 4 to 5 years. It's got 4 filler tobaccos, a wrap, and a binder, and it's one of our best cigars. Same cigar, essentially, it's just a smaller gauge, so you get more flavor from the tobacco. The bigger the cigar, this cigar, the Perfecto, you get more flavor from the wrapper.
Good to know. I am interested to know you're a small business. Even though you don't serve the public from this location, because essentially you really do serve the public, just in a different method, a different different way to get there. But how do you weave into the charm of Westport?
Of Westport directly?
I mean, because this is where your business is.
Yeah, we're right between Westport and the Plaza. Our Kansas City is our foothold, right? So we kind of distribute from that. So this is our center hub. So Kansas City we're most prominent in, and then we grow out from there. So like you said, we serve the public, but we serve them by making sure other businesses succeed. So a liquor store down the street, for example.
Mike's
Liquor, sure. You can go in there and buy Compadres Cigars.
Andy Doohan did an interview with us.
Okay, great, yeah. So, we want to make sure that we service Mike's the best we can. Make sure they have product, they have deals, they have promotional products, swag, something to get our brand out there, and something that Mike's can show their customers and say, hey, we've got this new local cigar. It's great, it's phenomenal. We make a Chief cigar with an arrowhead on it, that goes crazy during the Chief season. So things like that, we want to promote Kansas City and Kansas City businesses.
Great. What's most rewarding for you, sir?
Well, business in general. I enjoy seeing other people's business grow. I enjoy making relationships and connections to other business owners.
Well, you're good at it.
Well, I don't know about that.
You're good at it. I mean, that's one of the things that I'd say that you and I have in common. We speak well. We know how to talk to people, and you and I hit it right off. That's I think a trademark of a good business person is to be able to have conversations and to develop business acumen.
Sure, you never know where it's going to lead.
That's exactly right.
I mean, we went to the Dominican thinking produce, and here we are with a whole line of cigars.
It's great. If I focus on homeowners, right? So if I'm thinking about homeowners, how do well, I don't know that it applies here. I don't know that this question is going to work.
Well, it's interesting because in the last 7 years, there's been an uptick in cigars and cigar lounges. So Kansas City is a pretty small town. When
it is. We just talked about that, right? How many people that we know?
Yeah. Well, people, and then when you break it down to the cigar world, it's even smaller.
Sure.
Right? But there's been an uptick of new cigar lounges opening up in neighborhoods from Grandview to North Kansas City to Bonner Springs, Blue Springs, encompassing the whole metro area. And so when you talk about homeowners, it's good to know where a guy or a gal can go and take an afternoon off and relax. And that's one of the beauties of cigars, is that whenever you have a cigar, you're having a good time. You're enjoying it. Most people aren't arguing around having a couple stogies together. So it's a relaxing environment. So homeowners, if you know where your lounges are in that neighborhood, you can go support Compadres or other local boutique brands. I don't think there's too many other boutique brands in Kansas City, but it's a good escape.
Good. I think that was well put together. Thank you for that.
And our motto is enjoy the experience.
Enjoy the experience.
Very good. Yeah. I think a thriving neighborhood is critical. And that's one of the reasons I'm bringing this series out, is because I want to connect with my viewers. I want people to come and feel comfortable with living here in the neighborhood. And I focus on Waldo, Brookside, Leawood, Prairie Village, Plaza, Westport. How does Compadres add to the vibrancy and the economic buzz of the neighborhood?
Well, COVID. COVID was a killer for a lot of people. Cigars went up during COVID. Cigar sales, which makes sense. Liquor sales
really
went up. Grocery sales went up. People were staying home more. They spent more time at their home. They spent more time fixing their home, making it more comfortable. So I think all that kind of plays together when you talk about what people do in their spare time. They're at home a lot. Now that we're through COVID, thank God, they get out more, but still, there are these luxuries in life that we can afford ourselves that everybody should enjoy.
Okay, good. Any exciting plans or buzzworthy news that you could share with us of upcoming?
Well, that's one thing about the cigar industry, is that it's fun. And there's always people coming up with new cigars, new packaging, new things. So we're always experimenting with what we call a blend, which is like a recipe. So cigars are agricultural products, of course. So when Jesse was explaining the 6 tobaccos,
Never thought of it that way.
Yeah, So it starts at the field, right?
Sure.
So by the time you plant the seed, mature the plant, harvest the plant, then you age the product, the tobacco leaves themselves. So by the time it gets to your table when you're smoking a cigar, there's been years of preparation.
We said aged 4 years, right?
Well, our Cardinal line, yes. Our main line is 2 to 3 years, and that has 3 filler tobaccos, a wrapper, and a binder. And this is what's called this is the Toro, and this is a San Andreas Mexican wrapper that's just phenomenal with an Indonesian with an Indonesian binder. And I feel like I don't even have to smoke them because he smokes so many of them. I just get the secondhand smoke from him. I prefer the Grand Corona. It's a bigger gauge, 60 by 6. It's kind of a macho. I like to kind of chew on them. It's a much milder cigar. So that's my go-to. And I think this is kind of the workhorse of our line. We sell a lot of the Grand Coronas.
Yeah. So it's that's our what we play with is those recipes, changing the leaves, changing the tobacco, changing the aging, doing all these different things like a chef would with a recipe.
Understood.
Same type of concept. So we're always trying to think of new things. And then with our private label program, we develop cigars specific for a customer. So we did one for a local.
You did that with cheese too, didn't you?
Yeah, we did a lot of private label.
Private label with cheese, if I remember right. Yeah.
Yeah, so we kind of incorporated that same concept. But say you have a cigar lounge and you want your own flavored cigars, and you want a coffee cigar, you want a strawberry flavored cigar, whatever it is, we can come up with that. Even down to bourbons. So we use exclusive bourbons and make very unique cigar.
Customized. That's great. It's incredible.
Yeah. So
it's endless opportunities.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know that you provide cigars to local companies, smoke shops, liquor stores, etc. Do you source any local goods?
We really don't. Although we do, we just had a meeting earlier this week with a new cigar rep, and they're growing tobacco. I forget forget the town's name, but it's up north.
Dearborn,
I think.
Dearborn, Missouri, I believe.
Yeah. So Missouri, there's not a lot of tobacco grown around here. It used to be big in chewing tobacco. So they used to grow a lot of tobacco in Missouri.
Fascinating.
Chewing.
There's some information for you that we don't get.
But
Tidbit.
it's hard to source anything. Most everything we have made in the Dominican. We make some stickers and promotional stuff here.
Sure.
But no, I can't say that.
It's okay, but you're providing. So
Yeah,
it's
sure.
it's backwards from. I always want to know where things are getting sourced, but you are the source.
Yeah.
So very good. How can homeowners? How can we, the public? How can we jump in and give back to the community? What can we do to make a
Buy
difference?
more cigars.
other than buying more cigars. There
Just
any
in
civic
general.
things that you can think of that are beneficial to the area or to the city?
Well, there's always events going on.
Well, that's another question. Rhythm of the city and the area and traditions. So let's talk about events and giving back and how do we do that?
Well, I guess you can get involved in your community. Know your neighbors, get involved with the block parties or communities going on. And cigars are a great avenue for that. We just moved into a new neighborhood, and there's a few retired families around us. And the women in the neighborhood have all these events going on. They have yoga at somebody's house, they have bunko night, they have trivia night, all this stuff for the wives. And I was talking to one neighbor the other day, and I said, why don't we start a cigar night? We can get at somebody's house, sit on the back patio, have a whiskey or a water or coffee or something, and enjoy a stogie.
Sounds like we got a new thing coming.
There you go.
Cigar night.
Can I jump in on that question too?
Yeah, please.
I've been a resident of Brookside and have a condo for the last 18 years, and I just love the neighborhood. I go to the farmers market by St. Andrews.
At Myers.
Yeah.
St. Andrews, right?
And
Just met with Zach Beal. He runs the HJ Community Center.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how about shop local? I know Kansas City's very proud of being Kansas City and being local and being very micro economically minded versus macro. And if you look at my Facebook page, every weekend I'm either at Weston Crown Center, I'm down in the River Market, I'm going to Weston for the Apple Fest on Saturday. I just love supporting local businesses.
That's right, and that's what this is about. I'm bringing local to local. I'm meeting the business owners. I'm meeting the economic engine of the city. I've got some politicians that I've met with. It's all about get local, shop local. And the common thread that I'm finding is it's all kind and generous and loving and caring. We all want to be part of the community.
Sure.
Listen, another great conversation. I'm Frankie Bellucci. I go by Bellucci. Listen, I'm a realtor. I'm with the RE/MAX Premier in Prairie Village, but I service all of Kansas City, Kansas, and Missouri. If you need help, if you got residential, commercial, or investment property that you need, let me help you on your journey. Any referrals that you have are great. If you like the content that I'm bringing you for these interviews of local business owners, Kansas City local, please hit like and subscribe. The buttons are right there. Give us your comments so that I can hear back from you and let you know what else I can bring you. What other interviews do you want to see? What other businesses do you want to hear from? Really, that's it. We're going to be back with more interviews. Spencer, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Man, it's a great pleasure. Great to meet you, Jesse. We got more to talk about because you came from the fight game. I'm interested in talking a little bit about that. Do you train as well?
No, I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Well, it's hard to not do both. That's it for today, guys. Ciao.
Okay.